Do come along, Isabella. The sooner we get checked in, the sooner I can have a drink. I'm simply dying for a cocktail.
I'm coming, Aunt Clarissa. Sorry, I was just admiring the paintings in the foyer. The Dorchester's such a lovely hotel. Thank you for bringing me to London again. I can't wait to visit all the art galleries.
Well, now I'm your official guardian, I feel it is my duty to help you broaden your cultural horizons. It's what your father, my dear brother Sidney, rest his soul, would have wanted me to do. And your poor mother, I suppose, although I'm not sure she was quite so educated in the arts. It's beyond me why you want to come back to London again. Didn't you visit all the art galleries the last time we were here and the time before? Anyway, when you've had your fill of London, we'll take a trip to Europe. How do you fancy a little spell in Rome?
Oh, that sounds wonderful, Aunt Clarissa. You've been so especially kind to looking after me. And don't worry, I don't mind visiting the art galleries on my own. I know you're very busy.
Yes, well, I do have a new writing project I want to make a start on.
Ah, Mrs. Langmore, how lovely to see you here again. And so soon after your last visit. You were only here 2 months ago, weren't you? I wasn't expecting to see you again here for a while.
Mr. Parker, you know how much I love the Dorchester. I simply couldn't keep away. And where else would a world-renowned novelist such as me stay in London? Isabella, you remember Mr. Parker, the manager of this fine hotel?
Of course. It's lovely to see you again, Mr. Parker. Your hotel is truly exquisite, and your staff are always so obliging. I'm looking forward to staying here again.
Now, Isabella, darling, why don't you go and take a rest in the guests' lounge over there? You must be tired after the journey. I'll sort out our reservations with Mr. Parker.
Of course, Aunt Clarissa. Nice to see you, Mr. Parker.
Henry, I assume our little arrangement still stands? Oh, I so love staying here when it's free.
Mrs. Langmore, we have to talk about this. Things are getting, well, complicated. This can't continue. Look, I can't talk now. I'll come and find you tomorrow.
I do hope you're not going to upset me. Do I have to remind you what I know and what would happen if I was to spill the beans, as it were? You don't look like the kind of man who would like prison. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd better go and find Isabella. I trust our rooms are the very best you have.
Mrs. Taylor, do you know who's staying here? I just heard Mr. Parker telling the hall boy. Clarissa Langmore. You know her, the one that writes some books.
Calm yourself, Elsie. What are you blithering on about? There's work to be done. Those sheets won't fold themselves, my girl.
Clarissa Langmore, Mrs. Taylor. Oh, I love her books, I do. They're just so romantic. Oh, Affairs of the Heart, the one about Sebastian and Agnes, that's my favourite. They fall madly in love, but they cannot be together because Sebastian is all upper class and that, and Agnes is just a maid. And then Sebastian gets sent to fight in the war, and Agnes falls really ill, and when he finds out, he rushes back across France to be with her, and he proposes to her in a cornfield. Oh, Mrs. Taylor, wouldn't it be nice to be so in love with someone that you'd do anything to be with them?
Elsie, you really talk such nonsense sometimes. What are you doing reading those stupid books anyway? They're just filling your head with ridiculous notions. Love stories aren't always like you read in the books. Sometimes, well, there are too many obstacles in the way for there to be a happy ending. You'll learn that one day. I prefer to read crime novels. I like a good whodunit. Much more matter of fact. Mrs. Christie has written several excellent stories. You should read some of those instead of all that romantic twaddle.
If you say so. Mrs. Taylor, Do you think Mrs. Langmore would sign her name on my book?
Elsie, don't you dare ask her. Don't go anywhere near her. You know you mustn't speak to the guests unless they speak to you first. Anyway, between you and me, that woman is not a pleasant sort.
What do you mean, Mrs. Taylor?
She's always making demands when she stays here, and nothing is ever good enough for her. Oh, you'd think she was the Queen Consort instead of just a writer. I don't know why Mr. Parker is always fussing around her. Anyway, enough of this tittle-tattle. I need you to go and change to bed in number 42. Off you go now, run along.
And then I said to her, I'm in love with you, damn it, and I don't care about the consequences. And you know what she did? What did you say your name was again?
Benjamin, sir. I can't say I do, Mr. Jarvis. Women have always been a bit of a mystery to me.
She just laughed at me. Can you believe it? Have you ever been in love, Benjamin? I see you have a ring on. You're married. Good for you.
Yes, sir, I am. Love is a difficult thing. You never know when you're going to fall in love or with who. Sometimes it can get complicated and things never quite turn out the way you expect.
I'm going to ask her to marry me, and I won't take no for an answer. I simply can't live without her. Now, I don't want her to see me until tomorrow when I picked up the engagement ring from the jewellers. And I know she's here. I've slipped her secretary half a crown to tell me where she'd be. I've already reserved 2 column inches in the Times to announce our engagement.
Who are we talking about exactly, sir?
Oh, Clarissa Longmore, of course. She's the finest writer in the land and soon to be my wife. We go way back, of course. She's been teasing me for years, but I won't let her wriggle out of my grasp this time. We are destined to be together. But what should I say to her? Sometimes I find it hard to find the right words. I know. I'll write her a note to tell her exactly how I feel.
Could I have a lime and soda, please? Oh, sorry. I hope I wasn't interrupting.
No, my dear. Nothing important. What brings a lovely lady like you to the Dorchester? Are you in London for the shopping? I hear there are some splendid ladies' fashions to be found in Selfridges these days.
Oh, no, I'm working, actually. I write for Woman's Voice, the magazine for modern ladies. I'm here to do an interview with Clarissa Langmore, the writer. Have you heard of her?
Oh, yes. We're old friends, actually.
That is wonderful. I think she's such an amazing woman. To be a successful female author is such an achievement. She's an inspiration to women everywhere, and her books are simply sublime. I am such a fan of her work. Affairs of the Heart is my absolute favourite. The one about Agnes and Sebastian. Have you read it?
No, but I can tell you she certainly is a top-notch woman. We're going to be married, in actual fact.
That is the most exciting news. Congratulations. Could I put that in my article? Our readers would love to hear all about your engagement.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Well, I'm very proud to be marrying her.
I could make it the headline for my article. Romance writer Clarissa finds her own happy ending. I am so looking forward to meeting her tomorrow. It's going to be such an honour. Oh, sorry, I should have introduced myself. I'm Sybil Jones.
Bertie. Bertie Jarvis. Nice to meet you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to have an early night. I feel tomorrow is going to be a very eventful day.